Hello beautiful souls, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is your weekly. We're going to do a pick a card this week, and it's a follow-up on the pick a card I posted last weekend. A few people reached out and said, hey, can you give me more information? So I thought, well, okay, let's go and do that. Let's give you more information. The way it was set up last week, we had, if we were doing the astrology runes, so if you were a Leo, a Libra, a Gemini, or an Aquarius, your card was A. If you were a Scorpio, a Sagittarius, an Aries, or a Capricorn, your card was B. And if you were a Cancer, Taurus, Pisces, or Virgo, your card was C. So before we start, and before I do the big reveal, some of you already know what the card is, I just wanted to bring in the Coral Angel Spritzer this week, wanted to come through. So this is the Coral Angel of Manifestation and Magic, and it connects you to the wonder of magic and helps you manifest what you desire. So we want more of that, of course. It also happens to create a safe space so that you can let go of control and go with the flow. So we all want more flow, less control. And it will also help you find levels of self-acceptance and self-love, which I think we all need more of. So basically it also puts an end to any abuse or any bullying, and I would extend that to yourself. Anywhere you kind of self-abuse or you self-bully yourself into doing stuff, this is a really good spritzer for. So I'm calling in the Coral Angel of Magic and Manifestation. So I've sprayed some on my hands. I'm now going to smell it. I'm going to use all that energy, all that spritzer to fluff my aura, so that it'll be moving in my aura. And the other thing I thought I would bring through today is actually the Venus of Willendorf. And here is the poem. I am the great mother goddess. All races and creatures are my children. All time is my domain. My body is the earth. Revere the sacred power of feminine divinity. So with this, I think we're bringing diversity, unity, creativity, power. I mean, there's so many things that we can bring in. So we're bringing her energy into the reading too, so that it guides us. Let's see what else wants to come through. Okay, so the card that I pulled this week for these four, Leo, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, and I think Leo, Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius, it's the card of cooperation. Before I continue, my prayer is always when I do this, that we do this for the highest good of all, and that anything that comes through is for the highest good of all. So that your card and your symbol, should you choose to wear it, and its frequency would be for the highest good of all. You start channeling it for the highest good of all. And I think that's really important. So here is the Sirius piece. So Sirius constellation piece with regards to cooperation. On Sirius, we are a matriarchal society. And it's a society that values cooperation. Because without cooperation, our community would not survive. Together we are stronger. And when we align our interests, life runs efficiently and smoothly. So combining our energy makes us more impactful. And they have a special term for this called Ka-Ra, which means us together, us two, or even us as one. So the thing to think about on Earth is, under anything that's cooperative lies an underlying fear, which is competition. The fear that we won't have enough for ourselves. And it's based on scarcity that runs deep in our society. So the antidote to this scarcity is actually energy and light moving through you, because that's what makes you magnetic. So if you think of this card, it's encouraging you to combine your energies, because when you combine them with somebody else or with a group, or when you come and add your energies to something bigger than you, they become exponential. So cooperation, it's not 1 + 1 = 2, it's 1 + 1 = 1,000. Because we can't be abundant alone just with our energies. But when we combine and we come together to cooperate and create something together, then we become exponentially creative. This card begs the question, if you were to really visualize, you doing something alone and then you combining your energies with other people to bring it through, and you could see the impact that would have, you would actually kind of give up doing it on your own. I think it's really important to hold the energy of whatever you're doing, but actually when people come and add their energies to you, it's like your reach and your potential just kind of exponentially reaches. So it is one of the building blocks. Cooperation is of this five-dimensional world we're going into, because it is going to require all of us to join together to make things happen. So domination, over things is going to be replaced with competition, collaboration, cooperation, which is why which I call the co's, and I'm sure there are other ones that I haven't noticed. So this is a symbol to think to that comes up usually in readings when people are feeling very competitive and they feel like they need to compete, or you're drawn into competition by somebody else's energy. That's what they're emitting, and you're like, oh. So use and wear that symbol then, because competition makes us feel small and fearful, whereas cooperation, brings into our vision and our potential and our embodiment, anything like an exponential experience of what we could be. So I'm going to take another card to kind of see if there's a little bit more information about cooperation. I'm not going to make these readings really short because I don't think we need too much energy or information. So this one, see, you get the upgrade card. So upgrades is about upgrading your life in general. It's also about allowing your desires to manifest. As we saw, we have the Coral Angel, which is all about manifesting magic and desires. Upgrades also has to do when a specific type of light is projected onto your energy systems. So it's like basically upgrades are carried for the highest good of all. And it's on Sirius, they're carried by somebody called an elevation master, which is an important role. And the idea is that your upgrade happens for the highest good of all, for the highest good of the community. And sometimes we're ready for an upgrade and sometimes we're not. And so when this card shows up, either energies are difficult, and I find energies are really challenging right now. I always find this Scorpio season very, very challenging. So it's a card that you can use to help you kind of move through whatever is happening, because I do feel like we're all being upgraded in a big way, in a way that we're not going to make sense of really right now. It will also help you assimilate any changes that are coming. I'm going to say life changes, which we know are happening this month because they were in the monthly reading, but these are more like cosmic energies that are coming to us, new forms of light. There's that comet that's coming through our system. There's all sorts of stuff that's happening, the solar flares, all that kind of thing, that is still impacting us. So this symbol actually can really help you move through them with a bit more ease and help you just assimilate and integrate like all the cosmic changes that are happening. And then, you always get choice. Remember, it's free will. So the choice here is, do you want to upgrade? And how much are you willing to upgrade? We're all getting upgraded whether we want it or not. But in a way, I feel like you have to make the choice that you're okay with this. This is like the call to say, okay, I'm on board with this. And so by wearing either the frequency or the symbol, you're like going, okay. So there's an upgrade in my conception of cooperation. There's an upgrade in my conception around competition. I'm okay to move through this upgrade, and I have these symbols to help me move through it. So something to think about. Remember, free will, but I would rather move something with support than be forced to move something kicking and screaming and then it becoming really, really difficult. That's the difference between, I think, flow, surrender, and then just making it really difficult. Add one more card from this new deck that I was given that I love, the Jewels of the Journey, and I'll put the link underneath because I think they're so beautiful. And I'm still learning to use them, so bear with me as I figure out their energy a little bit more. I actually probably should sleep with them, because that way it will inform my sleep. So this one. So the question here is, whoops, well, this one fell out. What more information can we have about cooperation, upgrades, or anything else? So we have the card of alchemy. So I'll put it on here. Here, alchemy. Because it's the card of the alchemist, right? It's how you, as a creator of your life and a creator of your collective and a creator of your world and everything else, can use your pain. It's whatever is in the lotus, because this is the card of the lotus. So the darkness, the pain, whatever it is that is you're really struggling with, maybe the competition in this case, and you can actually transmute that into joy, into bliss, into light. you know. And this is a card I really resonate with because I have a moon in Capricorn, and so my emotions are always very muddy and very thick and very difficult for me. And so, you know, I always say, you know, you can create gold from mud. So this is a really interesting card. So it's all about transmuting what you have, but also using that mud to do something with, right? So we can either allow it to weigh us down, or we can use it as currency, as potential to create something bigger and better. So it's about feeling your pain instead of avoiding it. You know, it's using all that darkness, that muddiness, that murkiness, and doing something with it. Yeah, and just know that it's currency, right? Like everything else, energy is currency, emotion is currency. So let's use that, you know, for the higher good, instead of letting us be drowned in it. Like, sit down with it and do something with it, create with it. Use it as something moldable, like clay, to create something and to bring something. And the other thing I would add here, because we had the card of corporation, and it's tied in very directly to competition, and the fear that's underlying competition, that there isn't enough for everybody, and the scarcity fear. Like, look at that. That's your mud, you know. And when you feel that, when you feel there isn't enough, when you feel competitive, like, it's the time to use that energy to create something, you know. Do something with the energy. Okay, and to finalize this little pile here, so this is pile A. So can we have a Tealy card for pile A, just for more information or anything else I need to think about? Well, we have chair filled. Somebody new is entering your life. So probably a collaboration of sorts, which you might want to seriously consider. And, you know, I think the secret to your success, pile A, is going to be to really move through the competition and not see it as competition, but see it as cooperation, collaboration, like the exponential energies we're talking about. You decide to become together the alchemists and to do something with all the murkiness together. You know, this is like a collaboration. I feel this is really exciting, actually. So that's it, pile A. I hope this gives you a little bit more insight for your week. I would wear the corporation frequency because it contains, we actually could wear both, so I'll give you both. There's something else I wanted to say just before I give you the frequencies. Both these cards, I don't know if you can see in the middle, they have purple in them, so they're part of the purple cards, group of cards in my deck. And so they represent symbols of growth. So they're cards that initiate and support transformation for the soul, and they represent movement and momentum and bringing flow back to any situation. And they also remind us that our desires are interconnected with millions of other desires in the universe seeking alignment. So when you feel stuck or stunted or limited, these symbols, these purple symbols, can really help move you into your next step of life. So just another information to think about. The other thing you can do, and I haven't really done it, but you know, there's so many different ways you can play with these cards, but three is communication. It's another part of the corporation. Here we have 6, and 6 can be many things, but it could also be family. So maybe there's stuff around the way we've carried competition, family. So maybe look at your ancestral lineage. And then we have 1, alchemy, which is beginning. So there, you know, as I say, there's lots of different ways you can play around with this. So just see how that resonates. And yeah, and so the symbol for corporation this week, the frequency, I'm having a moment here. Deep breath. 55, 54, 51, 95, 83, 52, 27. So you want to just wear that as the corporation one on the back, and then wear that on the left side of your body, in your bra, in your back pocket, wherever you want to wear it. Actually, we can just have it on your phone, but wear it on the left side. And then the frequency for upgrades, 31, 52, 11, 76, 75, 53, 95. You can also take a picture of the symbols and have them on your phone or near your bedside, or however you want to do it. It's your game. This is a game, the game of life. Let's have fun, people. Let's make it fun. So get as creative or as wacky, as crazy you want to. This is your journey. Make it fun. You know, it doesn't need to be painful. It can also be fun, and let's do something with this. So I hope this helped. I wish you all a beautiful week. My Leos, Libras, Geminis, and Aquarius. I don't know how you all got packed together, but you did. So have a beautiful, beautiful week. And until next time. Okay, welcome to pile B. So if you are a Scorpio, a Sagittarius, an Aries, or Capricorn, this is your pile this week. This is your card. This is your symbol. So this is the one you want to be wearing this week. So let's see what else we can find about. So the card is Death and Rebirth. So it means that something is ending and something is beginning. So something to think about. What are you ready to end, and what are you ready to begin? Here's the From Sirius with Love perspective, that death is a choice on Sirius, that we choose our own death when we feel we have accomplished what we came to contribute to our community. Death isn't necessarily linked to the age of our souls, but rather to our soul mission. Some souls are born for a short term with a specific contribution at a given moment, while others know their life will be longer because their contributions are tied to things that take longer to implement and mature. There's no grieving the dead like we do on earth. So instead we have gratitude ceremonies to honor what they came to do and what they have left us with. The perspective of death is a community-based perspective. So souls who die understand that when the time is right, they will be called back into service for the community, and death becomes therefore a time to rest and a time to tap into the cosmic collective for necessary upgrades. A lot about death and thinking about death. So if you're worried about death, or if you're resisting death, maybe this will give you another perspective on death. So death is seen as an opportunity for growth, right? Birth is seen as an opportunity for growth, so is death. But death is seen as an opportunity for integration. And you know, it's not because the souls are not physically incarnated that they're not with us. They're actually always with us, just in spirit. So if you believe in that kind of thing, maybe that can offer you something to soothe your heart. Death becomes then no longer about an end or a beginning, but a continuum. So it's about what is needed for the community. When you get this card, and I'll show it to you again, it means that something is going to end this week. And if there's an ending, there could be a void after, but usually there's a beginning that's preparing. We're also, just so you know, we're still in metal season, which is, you know, will take us probably close to the solstice, so sometime in December, after which we go into water season, and that is the season where, you know, it's the big void. It's when we're in utero. It's when you want to start really thinking about what you want to bring through next year. So it's a stage that feels really barren, but actually under the surface a lot is happening, and it's also a time to rest. So that's also, you know, the meaning of that card. Like we're all shedding all that we don't need from 2025 to move into 2026. So whatever is going to come up this week to be ended, you need to make sure that you're giving it proper closure. And this is one of my spiritual teachers 25 years ago who told me this. You know, I was leaving a company and I really didn't want to go back and finish it. We had ended on not very great terms. And he said, Celia, you actually really need to finish your endings. And I went, and they'd organized drinks for me, and I went and I held my head high, and I'm so glad I did, because I completed that completely. Like I needed it to complete it. So this is about making sure that you complete whatever needs to finish this week. Seek closure, make amends, tie up loose ends, and clear old grudges. And what that does is it allows this death process to not be painful and to be graceful, because you're surrendering to what's being asked of you. And it can even be orgasmic if you want it to be. So use the symbol this week to help you move through this death, you know, with grace, and so that you have a smooth transition. And you can also use it if you're experiencing birthing pains. Like if you're really struggling. Some people find it very hard to let go. Some people find it very hard to be born. So in both cases, this card can really help you. Okay, let's get another card that could probably help you. Oh, health. So we get the card of health, symbol of health. So remember that in my oracle deck, health is about how vibrant your energy systems are. By energy systems, we're talking about the 9 or 10 energy systems that are in our body. So we're talking about the meridians, the chakras, the extraordinary vessels. You have an electric system in your body. You have the Celtic weave, which weaves through your aura. You have the Tibetan circles. I think the vagus nerve is also one of those systems. You have, hold on, that's 7, I'm missing 3. I'll think of them and come back to you. So the 3 remaining ones are the basic grid. So there's like a grid of energy that forms the foundation of all the other energy systems. You have the 5 element system, which is a Chinese medicine system, which I briefly talked about when I talked about metal and water season. You have triple warmer, which is actually a specific meridian that controls your fight or flight. And so a lot of, at least the Donna Eden system is about working with your triple warmer. And then you have the aura, of course, which I kind of mentioned. There's the Celtic weave, which is the pattern inside the aura, and then you have the aura itself, which kind of surrounds your body and also holds a lot of information about your life. The card also gives something about how connected you are to Earth. So the vitality of your health is connected to how connected you are to Earth. If you're connecting to what I'm going to say static electricity, TV, even like plastic shoes, all that kind of thing, you actually don't get the benefit of being on Earth. Like all that Earth energy, that it's yin energy, negatively charged energy, really is very healing. It's very, you get a lot of intuition, you get information, you get healing, you get nourished, it's very, very nurturing energy, right? And so we are surrounded by plastic, all these materials that don't permit the conduction of this yin energy into our fields and into our life. So, you know, actually you should think about spending more time outside, working outside. I bundle up, even now it's cold, I just go outside and I work outside with, you know, blankets. I might actually even buy an outdoor heater just so I can get all that energy and that fuel. But one of the things you could all replace is all the plastic shoes, the plastic sole shoes, because it really prevents this really healing and nurturing energy to nourish your cells, your body, your aura, everything. There's a lot of health and healing, and it's really easy, and guess what? It's free. You know, you don't have to pay for that. The other thing I am going to bring in, and I'm on the fence about it, but I do use it, especially during the winter, is an earthing mat. So I have one under my desk, and I also have one in bed, and I'll spend like 20 minutes on there in the morning and in the evening just to discharge all the static electricity, because I'm very sensitive to it, and also allow my body to ground itself back. The connection to Earth is really, really conditional to how well you're going to feel. And, you know, you can only really be embodied if you have this energy to help you. This week is also, you know, to help you move through this birth and rebirth, is to really focus on your body and to really examine all that energy that you're bringing through. So the phones, don't sleep with your phones, of course, but all that's, I call it static energy. So it's everything that's we bring through in our fields that are just not nourishing. They just stress us. They create static energy. So TV, phones, social media, the news, all that negativity, and try and spend as much time as you can outside. And because that will shift your body, it will help your body move through this transition you're going through, and you'll get nourished in the process. So it will make the symbol experience much smoother. So this is a symbol you want to use when you feel depleted or unwell, and to help you restore balance. Because there is something called homeostasis, which is the ability of the body to bring it back itself into health. You know, I call it biohacking, but basically the body's always looking for health, right? It's always looking to go back into its own natural balance. And so our job is to support that. So earth energy is your big biohack. It can do so much more than anything, any therapist, anybody can do. Health made easy. Just spend as much time as you can outdoors. That's what you want to be doing. So let's take one of these Jewels of the Journey cards. I've mentioned them before. Here you go. They're just beautiful. So as I said in the previous pile, please bear with me as I figure out how to use them. And I said I would probably sleep with them because that's how my soul makes sense of stuff. There's a lot that goes on at night for me. So what more information? Oh, this one wants to come out. Ooh, opportunity. So if you're not sure what's dying yet, something's going to show up this week. So your job is then to stay open to whatever comes into your field, like put your prayer out and then just stay open. There's an opportunity that you couldn't foresee that's definitely coming. And, you know, by having also a really clean field, you know, your energy systems, but also having all this earth energy, you're also going to pull in opportunities. You know, part of the manifestation, because we do have this coral angel, part of this is, you know, it's like get out of your own way, let the universe work through you, as opposed to you trying to make things happen, and you're kind of blocking all the magic that can happen. So instead of worrying about what can happen, it's like, okay, let's be excited, you know. It's a little video I posted that, you know, we're millionaires every day. This is the same idea. Like if your energy field is fluid, if you're connected to the earth, if you're open and clean, and what I mean by it's clean energetically, you're free of static, of all this static electricity, like things just flow to you and you can see them. You know, when you're full of static, you can't see anything. It just means that everything is coming to you. Just release the how, and then just be open and curious. And I was going to say to you, because you have this card of opportunity, you might want to do something you don't usually do, like book a flight, go somewhere, take a car, go visit something you're curious about, and just let go of the how. And it doesn't mean because you do that something's going to happen, but what you're doing is you're creating the ideal environment for something to happen and to come through you. Be curious and just, you know, have fun this month, this week, have fun. I mean, I'm going to have to say, have fun all the time. So I wanted I'm taking a teacup card. Can you give us more information about maybe this opportunity that's going to come as a result of a rebirth? What is it that we need to know? So this one came out. Well, look at that. You have the Tower card. Solid foundation, success without effort. So even though a part of you is dying, and see it as, you know, it can be physical death, and maybe it will be. I don't hope it or wish it for anybody. But whatever you're letting go of, whatever is dying within you, whatever doesn't feel right anymore, you have a solid foundation to bring something in you. So I wouldn't really worry about it. I feel this is going to be a really good week for you. As long as you don't fall into the fear, right? Just allow what needs to happen to come. I'll just give you a couple more things that you could think about. I'm not going to do them for you. So as you can see, these cards have different colors. This has gold in it in the middle. I haven't talked about this yet. So the gold cards, they're symbols of light, and they help you access more of your inner light by transmuting density and by encouraging you to express what you inherently are, which is light. So they embody angelic energies meant to guide you with grace. And then the green cards here, they're symbols of energy. Can you see in the middle there's green? I don't know if you can see it. These symbols are shared with the intention of helping you live a better life on earth and manage the difficulties of being incarnated in a human body. So the green cards really are about how your soul can be embodied so much better, you know, through dealing with everything that we have to on earth. So they're about helping you thrive in the here and now on earth, and so that you become like what I call is a reciprocal energy with everything on earth. Sorry, one last thing. The other thing you can think about is look at the numbers. So you have 4 twice, you have 3 here. So 3 is communication. So you might want to talk to people, go out, think about how you communicate with the world. And in my book, 4 is chronic problems. So it's in my book. So what I would say, if 4 is coming out twice, it's like you're probably going to let go, or there's this chronic problem that you've had for eons that's finally going to disappear and die maybe this week. Usually 4 represents stability, structure, and hard work, but it can also mean rigidity, being risk averse, that kind of thing. Something to think about this week too. So I hope this helped. I hope to give you a more global view of what's coming up this week, and I will see you next time. Have a good week. Forgot to give you the frequencies. So the frequency of death and rebirth, very long: 92, 82, 73, 98, 43, 99, 97, 44. So I would wear that during the day this week. Remember to wear it on the left side, in your bra, in your back pocket, however you want to wear it actually, but on the left side. And then the health one is 78, 52, 92, 82, 76, 52. Lots of 2s in there. And that's the health number. One thing you can think about is have these by your bedside while you sleep, and then wear the frequencies during the day, and then stay curious and have fun with this. Have a great week. Hello to pile C. So if you are a Pisces, a Virgo, a Taurus, or a Cancer, this is your pile. And your card is reciprocity. So I hope you can see it. Okay. So reciprocity has to do with what we call what the Paco, the Andean wisdom, the Paco wisdom, talk about right relationship, being in right relationship with each other, the world, with the earth. You know, you give as much as you take, and you take as much as you give. Well, or you receive as much as you give, right? It's kind of karmic, it's a loop, but it's actually about being able to give and receive in equal measure. And so when this card shows up, it means that somewhere you're not in right relationship. So this week you're being asked to go back into right relationship. So where are you either giving too much, or are you not giving enough? Or where are you preventing yourself from receiving where you should be receiving? So it's really a call to look at where you're not allowing yourself to be fed, or where you're not feeding others with your energy. Like, where are you withholding your energy? The Syrian piece for you guys is serious relationships are based on a mutual exchange of energies. And because energies on Sirius are transparent, it's easy to see where you're out of reciprocity, where you're in imbalance. And there are actually people who specialize in teaching you how to bring your energy into balance, so that you're in this mutual exchange all the time. And all it means is when you're not in this reciprocal relationship or mutual exchange relationship, that you're out of balance. So there's no judgment about it. So remove the judgment from it completely. And they're what you call reciprocity coaches, who actually teach people how to bring themselves in balance. And it's taught to younglings from a very, very young age. So the idea is that they don't allow themselves to be depleted by somebody else, and they're also accountable for depleting others. So it's a two-way thing. And there's no meaning attached to it. There's just, oh, we're out of balance in the way we're exchanging our energies. This is really a call this week to think about where you're out of balance in your life. And it might be your whole life, but it can also be like either your home life, or your business life, or your friends, or I don't know. There's a place in your life where you're out of balance, and you're either sacrificing yourself, or controlling, or doing out of obligation, you're playing the victim, or you're sucking on other people's fields. As I say, no judgment. I know some of the words can be harsh, but like, no judgment. This is about seeing where you are personally out of balance, and to bringing yourself back into balance. So you can use the symbol to do that, like where it will show you, but it also will work through you. Remember, these symbols are intelligent. They work through you. They do half of the work, or the 3/4 of the work for you, as long as you're aware of what's going on. And just by wearing it, you're actually impacting people. So if you seem to engage in out of balance relationships with the world, well, then this will bring you back into balance. It will show you like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. If you're either giving too much or taking too much, or if your relationships are just one-sided, or you seem to end up in power struggles all the time, this is your card. This is the symbol you want to be wearing this week. Okay, let's get just a little bit more information about the reciprocity. Let's see what we can get about this. Okay, faith. So, faith is the card of doing without knowing why you're doing it. Well, actually, that's not true. Faith is the card of doing something without actually knowing how you're going to do it, but just knowing that you need to do it. Like, you get the call and you don't know what it's going to lead to. I think this oracle deck would be a really good example of that. Like, I had these cards, I created it, and just now with time I can see what they can do. It's like I didn't have the full picture until I launched it, and I started really using them every day. Well, that's kind of what's been asked here. It's like to move with faith, knowing that something's happening, that's what you're being called to do, but you won't understand the whole picture for a little while. So Sirius is run on faith, and there's a real rejoicing in not knowing what's going to happen, actually, because they really love surprises, plot twists, and the adventure of moving through life with just like a sense of where you're going, but not without really knowing what's going to happen. Because that's for them the only way that you can be truly free, and you can live like a really well-lived life. Because otherwise, if you're not doing that, you're just surviving, you're not living. And so this card of faith is the opposite of control. If control is one thing, faith is the other. So it means surrendering to what you're trying to control. And it will, because when you control, you're not allowing life to move through you, to live through you, to express through you, right? This is literally blocking life itself. Control. So this is about having faith that the universe has heard your prayer, your request. Remember that, as I mentioned before, we have the Quorum Angel of Magic and Manifestation. So it's there's something about manifestation here for you. So, you know, this is also, the prayer here should be, you know, please fill my day with faith and help me dream bigger and open myself to my highest potential through you and for the highest good of all involved. And that's the prayer this week. So if you're not trusting the universe, this is the symbol you want to be wearing. If you're not trusting in life, this is the symbol you want to be wearing. And you know, the ultimate, I think, question that you can ask yourself is, you know, can you hold on to your faith and really truly believe, but also embody this truth that things are always working out in your favor and for the highest good of all. And that as long as you put the intention that is for the highest good of all, that the universe will use you to do that. That's kind of the prayer. Whatever you're not trusting in, whatever you're not believing in, this is the week to really get really stronger in your belief system around faith, around trusting, around knowing that the universe is working in your favor. And maybe because it's a reciprocity card, maybe you're putting it out, but you're not receiving. You're not listening to what the universe has said. And once again, it goes back to what I talk about static energy, like the fact that we absorb all this static energy from around us. And so we're not available to listen or to hear. And so we can't receive back. You can put it out, but if you're not paying attention to what's coming back in, like, how can you move forward? So I'm going to ask just one more card from this beautiful pack here, which was gifted to me, and I think is so beautiful. It's the Jewels of the Journey here, and I'll put the link in underneath. So universe, spirit, can you give us one more card that would give us more information about this? Worthiness. So the card of lack of worth. Worthiness, that you're worthy just because you were born, just because you're in a human body, just because you are here, you're worthy. And everything that you require and you want is important because you're worthy. This is an invitation to fully embody your place in the universe. So it speaks to the root chakra, which has a lot to do with our worth. And the root chakra has to do with our safety and our survival. And so when it's out of balance, you know, you will struggle with feelings of lack around self-worth, and we are doubtful of being enough. So this card is encouraging you to take your seat fully, to own your place, to feel connected to what it is that you came to do, and to express yourself fully. And to trust, the second time we have this message, that the universe has your back, and that it's working in your favor. And it's a different way to engage with life. And this is what makes life expansive. You know, it's about holding your seat, allowing people to sit in your seat and take your own place. I'm going to take just one more card, a teacup card, to see if we have just a little bit more information about all of this to guide you this week. Okay, this one. The Hand, in need of help, assistance, or guidance. So you might want to work with somebody on this lack of worth and see where you're leaking your energy and where you're not receiving, or where you're not giving, or where you're taking. You know, and just this is a call to being really honest, right? It doesn't matter. It's not a right or wrong question. It's like, let's be honest. Where are you not giving? Where are you out of integrity with your giving? And where are you out of integrity with your receiving? And where are you not giving enough? And where are you not receiving enough? I can assure you that if you have one, the other one is out of balance. So if you're not giving enough, it's the other side of the coin type of thing. So, and it's linked to your lack of worth. So it's like either you're not receiving because you don't feel worthy, or you're not giving because you feel worthy. It brings me back to a reading I did years back where it was all about worth, and the fact that because you chose to incarnate on Earth, and we all know that Earth is a very challenging place to live and be, and that in the universe they think that people who are incarnated on Earth go through this like massive growth, spiritual growth spurt, probably physical, all levels really. And so there's a lot of admiration for people who actually incarnate on Earth and who don't lose themselves and forget themselves. But also, just because you chose to be born, you know, you're worthy. You're a child of the universe. You're a child. Every soul that exists is worthy. And it's up to you to take that seat and to make that worthiness something that you're proud of. To be proud of who you are and what you came to do. Even if you don't understand it, it doesn't matter. just claim that worth. A couple more things. So stuff I haven't talked about. So every card here has a color in the middle. So this is a green card, and they mean certain things. So it's another layer of exploration for you. And I'll just give you some pointers so you can think about what that could mean for you. So the green cards are symbols of energy. They're symbols that are shared with the intention of helping you live a better life on earth and manage the difficulties of being incarnated in a human body. So including like how your energy field interacts with gravity, food, other people, etc. So these symbols here help you grow and thrive in the here and now. So the idea is that you become better embodied, or your soul can live better in a human body. This card here is a magenta. It has magenta in the middle. And so the magenta cards are actually about unconditional love. They're symbols of self-love. And they're symbols of unconditional love that have been carried over for this incarnation, that are lying dormant in your DNA. So a lot of them need to be reactivated and infused. And they form the foundation of what it means to love yourself and consequently to love others. So these are the symbols, the magenta symbols are the ones you want to use when you're really struggling with yourself. Like when you criticize yourself, or you hate yourself, or when you reject your incarnation. These are the symbols you want to go to, the magenta ones. Okay, and then one last thing to think about. So, and I haven't talked about this either, but we have 3. 3 is about communication here. We have 7, which is about luck, love, miracles, many things. And then we have 10 here, which actually is a 1, so new beginnings. So all numbers, you might want to look at the numerology of that and see how they all connect and how you resonate with that. There's another layer of understanding that you can look into and have fun with. You know, remember, all this is to have fun. So if it's not fun, don't do it. But if you feel, yeah, actually that might add another layer of my understanding, or then do it. Okay, so finally I will give you the 2 frequencies for the week. Okay, so the frequency for the reciprocity card is 95, 95, 81, 52, 76, 54, 26. And that you can fold, write just reciprocity on the back, fold it, put it in your bra on the left side, or your back pocket, or wherever you want to put it on the left side of your body. We don't really care as long as you wear it. And then this is the one for a faith, 43, 31, 31, 71, 81, 32, 7. So this is a 3, not an 8. And just in case you're worrying about it, it's actually a 3. And I say it once again on the left side. And something I've recommended is you could take a picture of these symbols and then have them by your bedside while you sleep during the week. So it will work on you through you during the night, and then wear the frequencies during the day. And remember, by wearing the frequencies, you're actually channeling the energy, so it will bring to the forefront what it needs to be addressed, and you'll understand it better. And you're also holding that energy for people around you, so it's like working on them too. So free will and all, they can move away if they don't want to do it, but the idea is that everybody benefits from it, whether you do it consciously or unconsciously. So I hope this helped. I hope getting the information has made things clearer, and I wish you all a beautiful and fun week full of faith. And until next time, bye.